It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Sports Reno.
All right, rolling on here on a Friday. Let's get a breakdown of some of the games. DeMond's here. It's Cofield. You heard it, Treasure Island. Let's bring in Alex White. Alex, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. First of all, we got a pub something that's pretty cool. And I'm up the road from the South Point, but I like the South Point. We did a lot of stuff with the South Point in the past, and they've got a beautiful studio there. And now you guys have rolled out something new, so I want to talk about what you guys are working on and the shows that are being put together down at the South Point studio.
Oh, yeah, it's been so much fun. So YouTube channel, South Point Studio. We have 2 shows going right now, and it's Sports by the Book with Jeff Carls and myself. That's 5 days a week. And then there's one show called Punchlines that's 12 to 1 every day, and it's a comedian, Frank Nicotero, and he brings in sports betting professionals and handicappers all the time to get that edge, but also has the comedy. So it's been a lot of fun, and of course we have Chris Andrews and Vinny and all of them come on. And yeah, I appreciate you giving that shout out.
Yeah, of course. Matt Neverett is working down there here and there, and he told me that Nicotero is just ridiculously hilarious.
It's a great show. It really is. An hour long, very entertaining, and plus you get the sports betting angle, so it doesn't disappoint.
I guess depending on what side you were on yesterday in Thursday Night Football with that crazy low under, the over was kind of hilarious because it got by it pretty easily. Were you expecting that? Did you have a side on the total? Because we know there's been this crazy run over like 40 games with primetime games with the under.
I know. Primetime unders really have been cashing. I was on the under. I did not see that coming. But luckily, I had the Steelers team total under as well, so pushed on the night. But, yeah, I wasn't expecting that from Bailey Zappi. I wish I would have had over 2.5 passing touchdowns from him. Looked like a different offense. You think Bill Belichick might have been calling that?
I have no idea. I maybe. I mean, wow. Is Bill O'Brien just toast? Is he done? I mean, he's pretty accomplished offensive coordinator. I don't know. I don't trust Belichick to call the offense, but something was different.
Something was definitely different. I don't know. But you're right. I did see Zappi embrace Bill O'Brien at the end of the game, so it looked like, yeah, they've been getting along well.
Okay, I got to get your opinion on this one because I think around the NFL, we've got some stodginess in terms of being brave and making moves that might shock people. And like, I'll give you an example. While the rest of the league, when it comes to running backs, are like, oh, they're really not worth it. The big contract, how much impact do they have? And then the Niners last year are like, yeah, we'll take Christian McCaffrey, right? And look at how it's worked out. And I'm not saying it's ideal to pay a running back $16 million a year, but for them, it worked. And when I watched the Steelers last night, I am sort of shocked, and I guess I shouldn't be, that they actually believe that Kenny Pickett was going to be the guy. Now they've got Trubisky backing him up. Both of those guys are playing. Are you with me where you look at the Steelers, and for Mike Tomlin, I believe it's time to make a bold move. Go get a quarterback. And I ranted and raved about the Raiders getting this guy. Am I crazy for thinking the Steelers need to freaking turn the franchise around and get a guy who I think his value is low in Kyler Murray? Is that a nutty thought?
No, I don't hate it. I do like Kyler Murray, especially more than most people out there, because he is a dual threat. He can use his legs. I don't hate it, but I do think the team responds well to Kenny Pickett, and I think that's why they've been struggling so much. I know their offense was not great this entire season, but, I mean, they had their big 400-yard game against the Bengals after firing Matt Canada, so they were, looking to turn things around before his injury. So I don't hate it, but I'm not that down on Kenny Pickett just yet either.
Well, speaking of Bill Belichick, something that he is going to be doing this weekend is he's going to be the picker on College game day for the Army-Navy game, and that's a game where I'm feeling inclined to just take the under. What advice can you give me for Army-Navy?
So this was kind of a stay away for me. The trend definitely says to take the under. We saw it go over last year, but it did need overtime. I mean, Army's games average 43 points this season, and Navy's 41, so that kind of worries me a little bit, and it is so low at 28. If I was going to play this game, which I'm not, but I'd probably look at the dog here with such a low total. And, Navy's played a much tougher schedule. They've had 3 shutouts this year, and, they've really just struggled against the pass-heavy offenses like SMU. So we don't have a threat there with Army, but I don't have much advice on the total. Are you going to play it under?
To be honest, stay away may be the best advice you could give me. Because I do need to stay away sometimes, I don't need to have an angle on every game.
No, you don't. As we know. No more 18 parlays, please.
I just can't stay away, Steve. The money's just too big. But a game that I am curious about, the Raiders, the Vikings, they're coming into Allegiant Stadium. That defense is much improved. Raiders are home dog. What do you think about the Raiders this Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings?
So I thought the line was right when they opened at Vikings -1. Now we're seeing this money move to the Vikings. So now getting 3 points with the Raiders, that would be the only way I would play this. Both teams coming off a bye week, so a little extra rest, a little extra time to prepare. I don't have a strong opinion on the side, but you're right. I mean, the Raiders, they have looked much better under interim head coach Antonio Pierce. If I was going to play one in this one, I think I would look to a prop, and that would be Josh Jacobs over 72.5 total rushing yards. Antonio Pierce made it pretty clear they were going to lean on their run and get back to that, and Jacobs gets 48% of all Raiders touches. 3 out of the 4 games, he went over that 72.5 easy, and all 3 of those were at home. So we've seen them produce offensively much better at home as well.
The voice of Alex White. Follow her up on Twitter at Alex White with an extra E. I guess you could say Whitey. Alex White up on Twitter, and she's the voice of the Aviators in season and has been handicapping and breaking down sports for a long time. So we have her up here on Cofield and Company. What do we want to do? Because we just got the news a little while ago for the Colts that Jonathan Taylor will not play in that one. That game, what do we want to do against the Bengals? Because I don't know what to think of the Bengals now. I kind of thought they were dead in the water, and then all of a sudden, Jake Browning looks like a real quarterback.
I know, right? It's a big difference from the 2 games that we've seen him so far, and he's coming off a huge game, 32 of 37 for 345 yards against the Jaguars. I think we'll see somewhere in the middle for him, but I do like this over, and it's moved up a little bit to 44, but the Colts have been one of my favorite over teams all year long, even without Jonathan Taylor. They've scored 27 in 5 of their last 6, and they play up-tempo. They're the second quickest in the league, and their defense isn't great. They rank 27th in points allowed at 24.7. On the flip side, the Bengals defense, you could argue that they're even worse. They're last in yards allowed per game at 388 and last in yards play at 6.1. So I think we're going to see a lot of points between these 2, and I like how Zach Taylor is calling aggressive games with Browning because, I mean, they really have nothing to lose with Burrow out. And you're right, they're kind of still in the race. We were talking about the Steelers who have put themselves in a bad position in the AFC, and the Bengals just keep hanging around.
You got a side or a total play in Cowboys and Eagles? Cowboys 3.5.
So I actually went Cowboys team total over 27.5 because this team is just unstoppable at home, averaging 41 points at home. And the Eagles, this has just been such a tough stretch for them. They look tired. Their defense looks tired last week against the Niners, and they've given up 400 yards in 4 of their last 5 games. So Cowboys get a little extra rest. They played on that Thursday, and you know how they play at home. So I don't know what we're going to get from the Eagles. I mean, they could win this game. They could keep it close. That's why that total is kind of tempting too, that 52. We could get a shootout here, but I like relying on just the Cowboys here, over 27.5.
Anything else you like in the NFL? Anything you are thinking about betting?
Oh, it's probably ugly, but I like the Saints this week at -5. I mean, they're playing the worst team in the league in Carolina, and that NFC South division has just been ugly, right? No one wants to claim it. So I think the Saints have a good game here. They have 7 losses this season, but 6 of those 7 are to teams that have been 500 or better, and the 7th one was Tampa Bay, who is a division rival. So I like the Saints here, get back on track, even if it's Jameis Winston. I just think back to week 5 when they were a 2.5-point favorite over the Patriots, and we didn't really know what to do with that, and we didn't know how bad the Patriots were at the time, but they shut them out 34-0, and now we're in Week 13. We know what Carolina is. I think the Saints cover this easy.
We got to close on this. You're very familiar with UNLV. You can explain your background. Give me your overview of what this season has been for UNLV football before we take some angles on the bowl game. What have you thought?
Oh, my gosh. Absolutely amazing season. So much fun. Incredible what Barry Odom has done in 1 year. 9 wins. Yeah, I've been a longtime Rebel, graduated from there. I cheered there. I also coached the cheerleaders for a long time. So once a Rebel, always a Rebel. And I'm excited. It wasn't the ending we wanted last Saturday, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. And it all starts in the off season, right? Now they know. And I like how Barry Odom said that. You know, that's the new standard, making it to the Mountain West Conference Championship. So I think we're going to see that happen here the next few years.
Yep. And now the cool part is a lot of the players themselves, like Odom's in the running for the Eddie Robinson National Coach of the Year. I'm hoping we're going to find out before we go off here if Jose Pisano is going to win Kicker of the Year nationally, right, which I think is incredible. Jacob DeJesus at 5'6" and 175, and just about out of college football. He was thinking about quitting because he had no offers, and he was USA Today just named him the All-American kickoff returner and punt returner. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. That is great. Special teams, man. They really did good this year. Yeah, that'll be crazy for Barry Odom. I know he's got a few guys that he's competing with, right? I mean, Arizona, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, Jed Fish.
Yeah, he did fantastic this year, too, and there's a few really good ones. But, yeah, to turn this UNLV program around, no one expected it, so it'll be well-deserved if he does win it.
Alex, good spot. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay, thanks so much for having me.
At Alex White, extra E on there, so Alex Whitey.